Deadly strikes between Russia and Ukraine. Welcome to Roh'sCorner, the podcast that dives deep into the world's most pressing stories, bringing you the human voices and hard truths behind the headlines. I'm your host, Roh, and today, we're stepping into the heart of a conflict that's reshaping our world, the ongoing war in Ukraine. It's August 2025, and Russia's latest barrage of missiles and drones has left devastation in Kiev, while Ukraine fights back, targeting Russia's economic lifeline with daring drone strikes. This is a story of loss, resilience, and a high-stakes battle that's shaking the globe. So, grab a seat, and let's unpack what's happening, the ordinary people speaking, and what it means for all of us. 1. A family's loss, the human toll of Russia's August assault. Picture this: it's a chilly morning in Kiev, August 21, 2025. Families are starting their day, kids heading to school, parents rushing to work. Suddenly, the sky roars with the scream of missiles. Russia's latest attack, 574 drones and 40 missiles, rains down on Ukraine's capital and western regions. Among the targets, a US-owned electronics factory and civilian neighborhoods. When the dust settles, 15 people are dead, including 4 children. One family, the Petrovs, loses their 10-year-old daughter, Anna, to a drone strike on her school. Her mother, Alina, describes holding Anna's hand as they ran for shelter, only to be separated in the chaos. "She was my light," Alina says, her voice breaking in a local news interview. "Now, there's only darkness." This isn't just a statistic: 15 dead, 30 injured. It's a wound on a nation that's been fighting since February 2022, when the Ukraine-Russia conflict started. Over 40,000 civilians have died, and 8 million are displaced, creating Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II. The Petrov story is one of thousands, each a reminder of the war's relentless toll. But Ukraine isn't just enduring, it's fighting back with a ferocity that's changing the game. 2. Russia's barrage, unpacking the scale and strategy. Let's zoom out to understand Russia's latest move. On August 21, 2025, Russia launched one of its largest coordinated attacks yet, targeting not just Kiev but western Ukraine, far from the front lines. Why? Analysts suggest it's a message to the West. By hitting a US-owned factory, Russia signals it's unafraid to provoke NATO allies. The 574 drones and 40 missiles overwhelmed Ukraine's air defenses, damaging energy grids and civilian infrastructure. President Volodymyr Zelensky reported over 100,000 homes lost power, a tactic Russia could be using since 2022 to break civilian morale. Military expert Dr. Elena Sokolov, in a recent Kiev interview, explains Russia's strategy. They're targeting Ukraine's resilience, its power, its economy, its spirit. By hitting the West, Russia aims to disrupt aid routes and scare off foreign investors. The attack's timing, just before Ukraine's Independence Day, wasn't random. It was a psychological blow, meant to overshadow a day of national pride. Yet, Russia's own narrative, claiming to liberate eastern Ukraine, crumbles under scrutiny. With 20% of Ukraine occupied, their special military operation has cost hundreds of thousands of lives and $1.3 trillion in economic losses, per US estimates. Rising drone hum, Ukraine fights back, striking Russia's oil lifeline. But Ukraine isn't sitting idly by. In a bold counteroffensive, Ukrainian forces have turned the tables, launching drone and missile strikes deep into Russian territory. Since July 2025, Ukraine's long-range kamikaze drones have targeted oil refineries in Ryazan, Syzran, and other regions, crippling 17% of Russia's refining capacity in just 1 month. These refineries are the Kremlin's economic backbone, funding its war machine. The Wall Street Journal reports gasoline shortages across Russia, with rationing in Crimea and Sakhalin Oblast. Prices are spiking, and inflation is climbing, hitting Russian civilians hard. Take Ivan, a truck driver in Belgrade, who told Euromaidan Press, "I wait hours for fuel now. The war's eating us alive." Ukraine strikes, like Operation Spider's Web in June 2025, which damaged 41 Russian aircraft, show an innovative military outpacing expectations. Using smuggled drones and Western-supplied tech, Ukraine's hitting where it hurts. Zelensky's message is clear: if Russia targets anywhere in Ukraine, Ukraine will target their economy. This tit-for-tat escalation raises the stakes, but it's working as Russia's feeling the heat. 4. Voices from the ground, stories of defiance and despair. Let's bring this back to the people caught in the crossfire. In Ukraine, stories of defiance abound. Meet Dmytro, a drone operator in Sumy, who helped strike the Ryazan refinery. "Every drone we send is a message, we won't break," he told BBC News. His team repurposes disposable vapes into power banks for soldiers, a symbol of Ukraine's ingenuity. But despair lingers. In Donetsk, 60-year-old Maria lost her home to a missile strike. "I have nothing left," she says, "but I won't leave. This is my land." On the Russian side, apathy is growing. A Kursk resident told ISW, "We're tired of this war. It's endless." Border regions like Belgrade face Ukrainian drone strikes, with civilians caught in the chaos. One interviewee described Russian soldiers wrongly treating locals, eroding trust. These voices reveal a war that's draining both sides, with Ukraine's resilience clashing against Russia relentlessly. 5. Geopolitical chessboard, peace talks and global stakes. The world's watching, but peace feels distant. In August 2025, President Trump's talks with Putin and Zelensky faltered. Putin demands Ukraine cede annexed regions and abandon NATO ambitions, terms Zelensky rejects. The EU's €100 million Brave Tech initiative aims to boost Ukraine's defense tech, but Western aid is waning. NATO's hesitancy, coupled with North Korea's withdrawal of 10,000 troops from Kursk after heavy losses, shows Russia's alliance is fraying. Globally, the war's ripple effects are dire. Energy prices are soaring. Europe's gas prices hit a 2025 high after Ukraine's refinery strikes. Food shortages loom as Ukraine's grain exports falter. Dr. Michael Clark, a defense analyst, told news media, "This war's a global economic chokehold. Peace requires compromise, but neither side's ready." Trump's claim of ending 6 wars rings hollow as Russia vows to produce 2,000 drones by November. 6. The drone war, technology reshaping the conflict. Drones are the war's game changer. Russia's mass-produced drones wreak havoc, but Ukraine's tech prowess shines. Long-range drones, some built from smuggled parts, hit targets 1,000 miles away. Evolving from their initial attacks on Russian banks, suspected Ukraine's volunteer hackers have broadened their scope to disrupt military infrastructure, such as Starlink communication and CCTV systems. A Ukrainian engineer told European news media, "Our drones are our revenge, cheap, precise, unstoppable." Russia's struggling to keep up, with production lagging despite help from outside. This tech race raises questions. Will AI-driven drones escalate the war further? Can Ukraine sustain its edge without more Western support? The Institute for the Study of War notes Russia's high casualty rates limit its manpower, making drones critical. Ukraine's innovation, like the M2 Bradley tanks clashing with Russian infantry, keeps the fight alive. 7. What's next? The path to peace or escalation. So, where does this leave us? Ukraine strikes on Russia's economy, and Russia's brutal attacks signal a war with no end in sight. Zelensky's pushing for talks in neutral Europe, but Putin's demands are non-starters. The EU sanctions and US tariffs on Russian oil buyers like India aim to squeeze Moscow, but at what cost? Gasoline shortages and inflation could destabilize Russia further, risking unpredictable escalation. For Ukraine, resilience is key. Alina Petrov, mourning her daughter, vows to rebuild, we'll rise from the ashes. But the global community must act. A ceasefire could save lives, but it demands compromise, something neither leader seems ready for. As listeners, ask yourselves, what's the price of peace? How can we support a nation fighting for survival? This war's not just Ukraine's, it's a test of our world's values. That's it for today's Roh's Corner. The war in Ukraine is a stark reminder of human courage and the cost of conflict. Share your thoughts with us under comments, and join us next time as we explore another story shaping our world. I'm Roh, stay curious, stay informed.